Today I'm going to take you through my top 5 mini band exercises that help strengthen up your lower body and improve your running performance. Mini bands are great. You can do so many different exercises with them, and they're small enough to leave in the bottom of your bag and take with you wherever you are. So you can use them as part of a warm-up or a strength session. And they're also pretty cheap compared to other fitness equipment. You can pick up a set for around £10. I've left a link in the description below on a set on Amazon that you can pick up for just over £7, which is really reasonable. So 5 exercises we're going to go through today, focus on the lower body and use the muscles that we use in running, so quads, hamstrings and glutes, also focusing on the hip flexors as well, which often get neglected. So the first exercise we're going to go through is a banded high knee drive. So for this one, you want to find a band of moderate resistance, and you're just going to put it over the middle of your feet. And then standing hip width apart, you want to drive your knee up to hip height, using your arms to help as if you're running. Hold it there for a second and then lower the foot back down to the floor with control and then repeat. So drive, pause, lower back down. And you're going to do 10 reps on one side and then 10 on the other. If you find it tricky to balance, then you can do the same movement lying down. Again, placing the band over the middle of your feet, keeping your feet hip width apart. You're just going to drive your knee up towards hip height, hold for a second and then return. So next up we have another hip flexor exercise, but this time working in a slightly different way. We're going to do some isometric holds, so where the hip flexor contracts but it doesn't shorten or lengthen. So again, putting a band over the middle of your feet, lying on your back, bring your knees over your hips, keeping your knees and feet hip width apart. The hip flexor we're going to work is the leg that doesn't move, keeping the knee fixed over the hip the whole time. We're going to extend your opposite leg, hold it there for a few seconds and then return. And you're going to repeat the movement for 10 reps on each side. If you're struggling to keep the knee fixed over the hip and the knee drops, then what you can do with the opposite hand, you can drive your knee into your hand and it will just give you a little bit more feedback. So the third exercise is a banded lateral walk. For this one, you want to place the mini band just above your knee, and if you have a second slightly lighter resistance band, place that over the middle of your feet. And then sitting back into a quarter squat position, moving your knee and your ankle out in one smooth movement, and then bringing the other foot back in and repeating that, doing 10 reps on one side, 10 on the other if you have space. If you don't have space, you can just do 1 or 2 steps to one side and then 1 or 2 back, as long as you do 10 reps on each side. So exercise number 4 is a banded single leg RDL, working your hamstrings and your glutes. For this one, you want to place the band over the middle of one foot, grab it with your opposite hand, and then you want to drive your hips back behind you, aiming to get the heel on the unbanded foot up towards the corner of the room behind you. And then to finish off, we've got some banded squats. So as is the squats, working your quads and your glutes, but with the resistance of the band, also working the side of your glutes, so your glute med. So the band will try and drive your knees together. You've really got to resist the pull of the band and drive your knees apart throughout the whole movement, aiming to keep your knees in line with your little toe throughout. So you can incorporate these exercises into a warm-up using a slightly lighter resistance and just doing 1 set of each, or you can use a higher resistance, building up to 3 sets and use it more of a strength session. You can always top it off with a little bit of core or some weighted squats or deadlifts. Hope you enjoy the exercises. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments below and I'll try to answer them as quickly as I can.